Oh, hi friends, it's Pastor Eric. It's Monday morning and it's time for Pastor's Questions. Again, as every week, if you haven't read the passage, that's 2 Sam 6, you're not going to make a lot of sense out of these questions. These questions are ways of working out what we've already talked about in the sermon. So watch the sermon as well. That's posted to YouTube. And the questions go like this. First, how did our reading make you feel? Your emotions matter. And I bet you had some interesting emotions as you heard that passage read. How did it make you feel? 2, what surprised you about 2 Samuel 6? What surprised you? What stood out to you? 3, if you were giving reasons to follow Israel's Lord God, would you include how the Lord God struck down Uzzah? What about Michal's personal attack in private upon David? What did the writer gain by including such parts? That's their question to ask. So, how would you actually include these things if you were writing and encouraging folks to follow this God? And because he did include them, what did the writer gain by including these things? 4, if you are struggling with the part on Uzzah, I encourage you to sit with your pain a little bit. Then I want you to refer to the earlier stories of Israelites dying for mistreating the ark, for example, in 1 Samuel. Ask how this story is different than that one. 5, question 5, how did Jesus act like David? Remember, David fed all the worshipers that day? How did Jesus act like David when David fed the worshipers? And there's a slew of answers to this one. Just try to think of 2 when Jesus acts like David who's feeding the worshipers. 6, the church has historically found dancing to be morally troublesome. It's true. Can you use a passage like this to say anything to that particular matter? Be careful. But you probably can. So think it through and talk it through with each other. 7, the writer plays a trick by taking David's dancing and relatively unking-like clothing and leaving it to Michal to see it as revealing and inappropriate. So if you think it's inappropriate for David to dance and dress this way on that day, you're actually in Michal's camp. You need to know that. So where have you let your perception of dignity and honor block your affection for your God and King? That's the question. Where have you let your perceptions of dignity and honor block your affection for your God and King? And 8, here's a question, and honestly, I don't know the answer, so you're going to have to figure this one out yourself. What happened to the tabernacle? You know, it took a lot of ink for Moses to describe it earlier. Now it seems to have disappeared since David stored the ark under a simple tent in the city of David. What might that mean to the new covenant believer? How might that fit with the physicality and fleshliness of the passage? Think that one through, because there is no more tabernacle. At the time of David, it seems to have been gone altogether. But that means something in the story of salvation that goes from cover to cover. And I hope I've encouraged you today and yesterday. Hi to the small group that meets on the Pilgrim group that meets on Monday. And God bless you on your thinking and struggling through the scriptures this week. Thanks.